but we stand around fighting over memories of the promised land. It's so hard to tell if this is heaven or hell, and I can only measure by degrees. But it's sure getting warm around here in times like these. Times like these, do I really need a billionaire who gets off every morning trying to tell me how he's treated unfair? And then I have to pay as the rest of the day we get divided into them and the we's. Oh, I find I'm losing my mind in times like these. Yeah, they come and they go, they're here then they're not. Every day I'm getting sick of losing something that I haven't got. I'm gonna try to run until the whole thing's done, and I just hope I don't end up on my knees. But Lord, it's getting harder to stand in times like these. Like these, I wish I had a place to hide. Instead of coming all together, we're just adding to the great divide. I hope and I pray nearly every day I can somehow get my troubles some ease. But I gotta say it ain't looking good, not in times like these. Yeah, they come and they go, they're cold then they're hot. I'm just trying to keep the world from changing me to something I'm not. Well, I want to do my labor, hold my girl and help my neighbor, have a little hope for my dreams. Is that too much to ask in times like these? Yeah, I just want to do my labor, help the world and love my neighbor while I keep it on my joie de vivre. But it sure feels hard, darling, in times like these. I could use just a little bit of help in times like these. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 55, I believe. 55 of Alone Together Tuesdays. I'm your host, Carll. And for the last couple weeks and for the next 3 or 4 weeks, Alone Together Tuesdays have been album specific, which means I take one of my records, and I'm doing chronologically here. I take a record and the whole episode is dedicated to that record, playing the songs on it and telling the stories behind it. And this week, the record is Trouble in Mind, my third record, released in 2007 on Lost Highway Records, which is part of Universal. And it was my semi-major label debut. My record before that had been independent, my little rock record we put on my own label. And Mike Carll and I did. And so yeah, I went from being independent to being on a record label with Lyle Lovett and Robert O'Keefe and Willie Nelson and Lucinda Williams and Ryan Adams and Elvis Costello and Van Morrison, and it was really heady stuff. Lucinda Williams, did I mention that? For me, and I was I also didn't have any songs when they signed me. I had used all my songs on my last record, and Kim Bowie, who's a good friend, was doing A&R for Lost Highway, and she offered me a record deal, and I said yes, I will take that deal. And I went into the Alex the Great studio in 2006, I believe, with Brad Jones, and we started working together, and this was the first record that we did. We've done 3 records together, but this was our first one. And I'm just going to go chronologically on the in order of the record as well. And but also, this is on my vinyl. We have a secret 15th song. This record has 15 songs on it, which is a lot. So we'll get through it as quick as we can here. But thank you for joining me. And if you'd like, go ahead and share the show. That would be really helpful for me. We'll give away something. I'm not sure what, but Callan will go through and pick out winners, and we'll give away Setlist or lyric sheets. I can't remember what lyric sheet is for tonight's show, but if you contribute to the show, we'll give you a postcard, and if you contribute $30 or more, we'll send a postcard and a signed lyric sheet, and a set list and a sticker. A whole lot of stuff. So, but yeah, go ahead and share it now if you would, and we'll get to playing music. Thank you for being here. So the first song on this record is probably the most popular one on it, or at least one of the top 2 or 3. It's one I wrote with Ray Wiley Hubbard. It's called Drunken Poet's Dream. Now I've got a woman, she's wild as Rome. She likes to lie naked and be kissed upon. She crosses a bridge, then sets it on fire, and it lands like a bird on a telephone wire. Wine bottles scattered like last night's clothes. Cigarettes, papers, and dominoes. She laughs for a minute about the shape I'm in. She says, you be the center, honey, I be the sin. I'm gonna holler and I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna keep me some mescaline. She brings me roses and a place to lean. A drunken poet's dream. Now I believe my harp has got a busted reed. All my lips are chapped and about to bleed. She tastes like pills and cheap cologne, and she tells me I don't ever have to drink alone. Now there's some money on the table and a pistol on the floor. A few paperback books by Louis L'Amour. She says, honey, don't you worry about Judgment Day. All these people going to heaven, they're just in our way. I'm gonna holler and I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna give me some mescaline. She brings me roses and a place to lean. A drunken poet's dream. And all my life I laid around while the colors all turned blue. Oh, well, I closed my eyes and finally found it brought me back to you. Now I got a woman, she's wild as Rome. She likes to lie naked and be kissed upon. She crosses a bridge and sets it on fire, and it lands like a bird on a telephone wire. I'm gonna holler and I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna keep me some mescaline. She brings me roses and a place to lean. A drunken poet's dream. Drunken poet. Drunken poet. All right. Here we go. We're off and running. Drunken Poet's Dream. Yeah, that was, y'all forgive me. I'm going to just, this record, it was a long time ago. And this was the longest I ever spent in the studio on a record and the most musicians that ever played on a record. I didn't really know what I was doing. It's the first time I'd ever had a budget, that money that was not my own to make a record. My first two records, I was using my own money. And this one, I was using Universal Records money. And they had more money than I do. And so I had the luxury of getting to spend more time in the studio and get to work with more people, and so I got to bring in a lot of cool, amazing musicians. So with each song, I'm gonna kind of go through and talk about who played on it, who I wrote it with, whatever I can think of. But I'll try not to be too long-winded. But this one I remember, and I'm sorry, I put on my Ben Franklin glasses here. Let's see. Acoustic guitar and lead vocals, Hayes Carll. Electric guitar, Carl Brummel. Carl plays in My Morning Jacket. And also is a great singer-songwriter in his own right. Al Perkins played on pedal steel, which, if you're not familiar with Al Perkins, you should look him up. He's a legendary cat. Violin was Chris Carmichael. Bass was Brad Jones, who produced the record. And John Gardner played drums, and Robert Kearns sang harmony vocals. Robert Kearns is somebody that I met when he was playing bass with Jack Ingram. Jack took me on tour, and Robert was playing bass in the band. And Robert had played with the Bottle Rockets, and then he played with Leonard Skinner, and now he plays with Sheryl Crow. I think he still got that gig. Anyway, really cool guy and great singer. So that's that. And then, of course, I told you I wrote that. Oh, shit. Shoot. Sorry, I accidentally pressed that. Let me bring this back up. I told you I wrote that with Ray Wiley Hubbard. And the way that worked was Ray and I had written one song, Chickens, which I did on my last record, the second record, the week before this episode. And he came over to my apartment, and I had this line, I've got a woman, she's wild as Rome. And he said, when she likes to lie naked and be gazed upon. I said, wow, okay, cool, let's go. And we finished about half the song, and then Ray went home, and we sort of each came up with our own, we finished it in our own way. So you'll notice if you listen to Ray Wiley Hubbard's version, it's just different. And actually, I just added a verse to this live version I just did that's not on the record. But we had a couple extra verses. I had a bit of pieces from his. And then I added a bridge, which he says is me just trying to show off. But it said, all my life I laid around while the colors all turned blue. Oh, well, I closed my eyes and I finally found it brought me. Anyway, you heard it the first time. I don't know why I'm replaying it. But that's the first song that kicked off the record. And yeah, it seems to have hit a note with a lot of people. So let's move on. If you're just joining us, thank you for tuning in to episode 55 of Alone Together Tuesdays. I'm going through my entire Trouble in Mind record, and it may take a minute because there's 15 songs, 14 on the CD and the 15th bonus track on the vinyl. So here's to everybody. I hope you had a great Memorial Day weekend, and thank you for being here. All right, this next song, I need a harmonica for. This is the only song I recorded twice. Until my last record. This was on my first one, and then I'm again on my third one. This is a song that I wrote on my own. It's called It's a Shame. come. There is no second chance. We've been drifting on an empty, aching sea. You were the girl I never knew I wanted. I was a boy you hoped you'd never see. It's a shame we ain't lovers. We could have been something so big and grand, just kissing for hours underneath that sweet magnolia, begging for answers, trying to make a stay. Been burning up the hours, talking to the midnight, just dreaming ways I could hold you next to me. And maybe it just wasn't meant, all things have a reason. Maybe our hearts are just too careless and free. But it's a shame we ain't lovers. We could have been something so big and grand, just kissing for hours underneath that sweet magnolia, begging for answers, trying to make a stay. There was a time you would have had me. There was a time when I could have had you. But it's too late, another path has come and gone again. I'm at the back door with a broken window view, thinking it's a shame we ain't lovers. We could have been something so big and grand, just kissing for hours underneath that sweet magnolia, begging for answers, trying to make a stay. I'm tired of writing, but I can't put down my pen. It's too late now to talk or turn back. So just hold on, 'cause baby, here we go again. Heading the wrong way down that one-way track. It's a shame we ain't lovers. We could have been something so big and grand, just kissing for hours underneath that sweet magnolia. I'm begging for answers, trying to make a stay. Just trying to make a stay. I don't want to say this with certainty, but that may be the end of the harmonica for the night. I'm pretty sure it is. We'll see. All right. Well, I hope everything sounds okay and that it's coming through clear. Thanks again for joining me for this Trouble in Mind edition of Alone Together Tuesdays. It's been fun going through these records. Let me see. Let's see what happened on this one. I'll put my spectacles back on. My wife was making fun of me last night because of these things. I've got some slightly cooler ones, but I sat on them the other day and said I can only wear them if I'm reclined because if they're here they fall off. So I have to use these. I think I got these at Walgreens for $10. So yeah, but yeah, that's just how life's going. Okay, this wrote by myself and played acoustic on. Electric guitar with Pat Buchanan, who's a legendary guitar player. Al Perkins again on pedal steel. George Bradfute played baritone electric guitar. Brad Jones played bass, and John Gardner again was on drums. And on the vocals was Carrie Katsianis, who was an important piece of this record. She was at one time married to Adam Landry. Those of y'all who follow the show, you know Adam was a regular participant in this show, and they were married at one point. And I met Carrie, or I was first made aware of Carrie because she was singing with Bobby Bear Jr. on a record, the Young Criminal Starvation League record that I love so much. And so we were able to get her to come sing, and she sang on this next song, which really made the song. I don't think it would have been anywhere near as cool without her. You can hear her giggling in the background, and yeah, I'll talk more about that in a minute. But let's go ahead and play it here. This is Girl Downtown. Well, there's a girl downtown with freckles on her nose, pencils in her pockets, and a ketchup on her clothes. She's a real nice girl. She's pretty as a plate, and the boys call her Katie when they ask her on a date. And who knows, Katie, maybe you could be the one. Well, there's a boy outside, standing in the rain, hands are in his pockets. He's wondering why he came. He's a real nice boy. He's slower than the fall, and the girls call him Billy, if they're calling him at all. And who knows, Billy, maybe you could be the one. Ah, but hearts don't fly, words they don't sing, and boys like you can't buy no ring. Love's not stuck, it just moves slow. You turn around a minute and away we go. Billy walked inside, he ordered up a drink. He started getting nervous and wondering what she'd think. She thought he looked nice, a little rough around the seams, just the kind of boy who could listen to her dreams. And who knows, Katie, maybe he could be the one. Hey! They stepped outside, they took a little walk. Katie held his hand and Billy even talked. They sat by the pond, they didn't make a sound. That night fell easy as the moon came down. And who knows, baby, maybe we could be the one. Ah, but hearts don't fly, words they don't sing, and boys like you can't buy no ring. Love's not stuck, it just moves slow. You turn around a minute and away we go. Ah, there's a girl downtown with freckles on her nose, pencils in her pockets, and a ketchup on her clothes. She's a real nice girl. She's pretty as a plate, and the boys call her Katie when they ask her on a date. And who knows, Katie, maybe you could be the one. Yeah, who knows, Katie, maybe you could be the one. Ah, who knows, baby, maybe we could be the one. All right. So, that was a song I had been working on for a long time. I still remember writing the first line. I was in a radio station somewhere in Texas, one of my very first radio interviews, and I just wrote that first verse. I didn't know where I was gonna go, and I'd never. This was years before I recorded it, and I didn't finish it until I was in the studio, and I finally wrote that chorus. I was just going for a John Prine kind of thing. I'm not sure what some of these words mean. My wife always gets on me about "pretty as a plate." She's like, "What does that mean?" I said, "I don't know, but I think it sounds cool." And I think people piece together whatever it makes sense. There's some things that don't make sense, but they just make sense. Like on the page, it may not make sense, but if it hits you the right way, you just understand. You get the idea. So I tell you what, we're gonna do this because these are rare, and I only have a few left. But I do have this vinyl here, which is a double vinyl. There are 2 records, double gatefold. Here's all this stuff in here, which is really cool, including, for those of y'all that have this, I did like a Where's Waldo. The goal was to kind of make this like entertaining for stoners. So I put little faces of myself all throughout so you can go through like find days. And I yeah, so it's double vinyl, and on the second side, I've shown y'all this before, but some of y'all may be new to the show. On the second side is an engraving. I mean, on the second side of the second record. So the fourth side is an engraving, which I just think is so cool. That's the water tower in Crystal Beach, Texas, where I was living when I wrote a good chunk of these songs. So anyway, that's that. And the reason I'm showing you this is because I'm going to give away a couple of these. A couple being literal, because I think I only have 2 left to give away. I've got some from my patrons that I'm going to send them soon, but I think I only have enough left to give 2 out tonight. So the way it's going to work is if you share the show, Callan's going to go through and find 2 people on top of the other stuff we're giving away to give away 2 of these records. We'll mail it to you. So that's that. I'm feeling like Santa Claus tonight. Okay, I've already stepped on it because I said I was done with the harmonica, and one song after I said that, there's a harmonica song. This is a song that is not mine. There's 2 covers on this record, and this is one of them. This is by my friend Scott Nolan. And I first discovered this song when I was at a Fred Eaglesmith picnic festival somewhere up in northern Canada around 2004 probably. And my friend Donnie Corville played this song for me, like on guitar. And I remember, actually this was 2002. 2003, I don't know, early 2000s. And it blew me away. I just thought, what an incredible song. Sometimes you hear those songs where I go, that's a once in a, like if you wrote that, you can hang your hat on that, and you can for the rest of your life say I'm a songwriter. And, I wrote this song. I used to think about that, like before Isabel wrote 100 songs that you could do that with. I used to think about Outfit, the Jason Isbell song, or Ryan Adams, Cover Me Up. I can't remember what it's called now. But there's a lot of people have written that song where it's just like you hear it and you go, that's an incredible talent. And so that was how I felt about this song. So I wanted to record it, but the way that Scott played it is very slow and sort of folky. He did a record with Kurt Morlix. He has this really cool version of it, which I recommend you checking out. And we tried it like that, but it ended up being just 5 or 6 minutes long, and it was just sort of thuddy, and it didn't quite work. And so we went back. I think this is the last song we actually recorded. We went back and we did a rock version. We just tried to rock out. And that ended up being what we kept. So I'm going to play the folk version here for you. But you can check out the rock version if you're not familiar with it on the interwebs. Oh, that's the wrong harmonica, sorry. Arkansas, my head hurts. Yeah, I'd love to stick around and maybe make it worse. But I got a girl out in Henrietta, and her love is like tornado weather. And it's girls like her, they keep me trying. She goes off like an air raid siren. Come in clean, leave torn apart, with a bad liver and a broken heart. With a bad liver and a broken Indian summer, Oklahoma sunset. If there's a nicer place, I hadn't been there yet. I'm standing outside of the blue door. Too tired for sleep, too drunk for more. And it's nights like these that keep me trying. A woman always knows when a man is lying. It ain't me, I'm just playing the part, with a bad liver and a broken heart. With a bad liver and a broken I'm gonna get old before I'm any good at this. Who's the president and what year is this? How doesn't anybody speak about truth anymore? Maybe that's what songs are for. You're the wind and I'm on fire. In this line of work, no one retires. Come in clean, leave torn apart, with a bad liver and a broken heart. 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 All right, Scott Nolan, my pal, great songwriter, and he's doing a lot of poetry and collage art as well. So just a really interesting artist, interesting guy. Let's see. So, but the version we did on the record was very rocking. Used to be a lot of fun to play with my band when I would do it like that. What was it? It was like Arkansas, my head hurts. Yeah, I'd to stick around and maybe make it worse. Something like that. All right, let's see. I got a stray hair and I can't figure out which side of my head it's on because. There we go. All right. Let's see. I'm just checking to see. I can't really even read these comments from here. I'm just trying to see if it sounds okay. I hope everybody is doing all right. You can hear everything, see everything. Let's see who played on this particular track. I know we had some fun ones. Let's see. Dan Baird played electric guitar and sang the harmony vocals. For those of y'all, some of y'all probably recognize that name. For those of y'all that don't, Dan Baird, great guitarist, legendary member of the Georgia Satellites. So, I said, you're gonna live with me for the rest of my life. I said, no hooky, no kissy until you make me your wife. My honey, my baby, don't put my love on no shelf. She said, don't give me no lies and keep your hands to yourself. That's Dan Baird. I just did a terrible version of it. But anyway, really incredible talent and personality. He played guitar, and it's him singing the harmony vocals on this. I told you there's some cool folks on here. We're just getting started. It's really neat to look back because we had a month to make this record, which is about the combined time for all the records I've ever made. And the budget was probably combined to all the records I've ever made. And so we just had a lot of fun, got to bring in a lot of very cool people. So, and then let's see, who else was on this one? George Bradfeud again, Brad Jones, and John Gardner. All right, that's it. Just a little 5-piece band. Okay. Next up is a song that is another one that ended up being one of the more popular songs on this record. So I lived in Crystal Beach, Texas for a while. I lived in Galveston for a while. And my friend Donnie Corbell, who I mentioned, turned me on to Scott Nolan, lived in Beaumont, Texas. And he used to come down and watch me play at Bob's Sports Bar and World Famous Grill. That was how we met at my first gig on the beach down there. And he started bringing me up to Beaumont to play this place called Okie Dokies. And the Kaiser brothers were some friends. And we used to hang a bit, and I don't know why I've always had this affinity for Beaumont as a lyric. I mean, I like it as a town too, but particularly as a lyric. One of the first songs I remember writing was called "Birthday on a Bus to Beaumont." I was probably 15, and because I grew up in Houston, so I didn't spend much time in Beaumont, but I knew it was just a couple hours away, and then on Barroom Lament, I wrote, I mentioned Beaumont, or sitting with the band, I mentioned Beaumont, and then I've got this song, which is called Beaumont. There we go. I saw you leaning on a memory with your back turned to the crowd in that little bar on Murphy where they play guitar too loud. There were people drinking whiskey and there were hearts about to leave. It was cold as hell for Houston. It was almost New Year's Eve. All the way from Beaumont with a white rose in my hand. I could not wait forever, babe. I hope you'll understand. All the night was feeling lucky, so I asked you to dance. And the way you looked up at me made me think I had a chance. But when I put my arms around you, I knew you weren't giving in. And I hope it will be different if I pass this way again. all the way from Beaumont, with a white rose in my hand. I cannot wait forever, babe, I hope you'll understand. Well, I walked the road to get here with a guitar and a case, and I'd have stopped in Pasadena if I'd have known about this place. But you looked like forever where the water meets the shore. I've been thinking about you, baby, I can't do that anymore. I saw you leaning on a memory with your back turned to the crowd in that little bar on Murphy where they play guitar too loud. There were people drinking whiskey and there were hearts about to leave. It was cold as hell for Houston, it was almost New Year's Eve. All the way from Beaumont with a white rose in my hand. I cannot wait forever, babe, I hope you'll understand. Yeah, all the way from Beaumont with a white rose in my hand. I cannot wait forever, babe, I hope you'll understand. Okay, that's side 1 of 3. We're a third of the way through. Let's see. Trying to think. Acoustic guitar and lead vocals was me. Pat Buchanan played dobro and electric. Al Perkins and Fats, let's see. Al Perkins played dobro. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time reading this. There's more people on this than I realized. Let's see. Electric guitar was Pat Buchanan, dobro was Al Perkins, and Fats Kaplan. So we had 2 dobro players? I don't know. Interesting. On bass was Brad Fordham and drums was Lisa Pankratz. So Brad Fordham and Lisa Pankratz were my band at the time, were my rhythm section at the time. They live in Austin. And I met them when they were playing with Billy Joe Shaver. And at some point, a couple years after we met, I asked them if they would join my band, and they did. And they're just fantastic. And with this track, we had done a demo in Austin that was just stuck in my head. It just had this sort of rhythm, this windshield wiper kind of thing to it that it was mesmerizing to me. And we were in Nashville, and I just couldn't get it with the players. I mean, there's so many amazing players, but we just, for whatever reason, couldn't get that thing that I was sort of married to. It's one of the problems with doing a demo is sometimes you end up always going back to that rather than being in the moment with where you're at. But anyway, so I asked them to come up. So they drove up to Nashville from Austin to play that song. I think they did another one. I think they may be on I Don't Want to Grow Up. We'll find out as we get there. But anyway, that was that. So that's side A. That's pretty strong first side, if I do say so myself. Drunken Poet's Dream, It's a Shame, Girl Downtown, Bad Liver and a Broken Heart, and Beaumont. All right, side 2. Here we go. Are you ready? Thank you for tuning in to episode 55 of Alone Together Tuesdays, the Trouble in Mind edition, where we are playing all the songs on my 3rd record, my 2008 release, Trouble in Mind. All right, side 2. Yeah. This is a song. I'm going to pull out this guitar here for it. This is one that I remember writing on the porch of the beach cabin where I used to live before it washed away. And it was about the bars that I played in. And I've had a few times in my life where I just said, write a damn song. You know, I struggle sometimes to write, to find inspiration. And with one of these, I was like, just say something. Pick something and write about it. And so I just started describing the bars I was playing at, and started this song. And having said that, I didn't finish the thing at the time, but we went into the studio and started playing, and I believe it's Will Kimbrough who plays banjo on this. And we just laid this down, and I started babbling stuff. I had some lyrics, and I think there was a verse that I finished later. And this is a song I totally blew out my voice on. If you go back and listen to the record for I Got a Gig, you can hear I'm pretty strained because I did like 20 takes on this. And but anyway, but we got it. So here we go. This is. 8-line machine and a sailor's daughter. But something makes them crazy growing up on the water. Playing for my supper 6 nights a week. Hurricanes, Easter, and New Year's Eve. 410 walls, now there ain't much left. Looking like a homeless cheers on meth. Homer's in the corner, breaking up a fight. Good Lord, I hope I get paid tonight. I got a gig, baby. Burnt fried chicken and a Lone Star beer. Cops and the kids, they drink free around here. Girl behind the bar just taking what she's giving. Lying about her past and trying to make a living. A broke pool table and some hard luck cues. Go tell your mama I done paid my dues. Everyone around here knows my name. 6 nights a week in the neon flame. I got a gig, baby. I got a gig. Now there's an old line tamer parked behind the bar with 100 pounds of weed in a stolen car. Oil patch boys and girls who went to college. Rules you don't break and laws that ain't acknowledged. A barefoot shrimper with a pistol up his sleeve. Some will go to heaven and some will never leave. Pills in the tip jar, blood on the strings. Oh Lord, I never thought I'd see these things. I got a gig, baby. I got a gig. Line machine and a sailor's daughter. Something makes them crazy growing up on the water. Playing for my supper 6 nights a week. Hurricanes, Easter, and New Year's Eve. I got a gig, baby. I got a gig. I got a gig, baby. Oh, I got a gig. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. All right. I got a gig. That was a fun one. And that's maybe, this record was the first time, there's a couple songs on here where I didn't have songs completely finished when I went into the studio, but kind of got together with the musicians and we just started vamping. I'd have an idea or a hook and we would play music and I would write to it. And I thought that's a really cool way to do things. Certain ideas pop up that way. And I did it a lot more on the following record because it seemed to work well on this one. So I'll talk more about that next week when we explore K-Mag Yo-Yo. But let's see who wrote on this here. I wrote the song, but Will Kimbrough played banjo. Pat Buchanan played electric guitar and harmonica. Brad Jones played bass, and John Gardner played drums. So that was it. Somebody asked me yesterday what an 8-line machine is. That opening line, 8-line machine on A Sailor's Daughter. And it's a slot machine. They're called 8-line machines, at least in Texas. And the bar that I played at, Bob's Sports Bar and World Famous Grill, had a bunch of them right by the little part of the bar where I would sit and play. And so if it was a slow night, I could just sit there and play slots while in between sets or in between songs. Or somebody, tip me a $5, I could take it and run it through the machine. And I think that's actually how Bob made most of his money, because while not technically legal to gamble money, he seemed to have figured out a way around that little loophole. So that's what an 8-line machine is, in case you're wondering. All right, let's see. What's next? Faulkner Street. All right. This, I was talking to an old college pal of mine named Tom Gormley the other day, and he was asking me about the genesis of this song. And it was inspired by this house I used to, well, actually I didn't live there. My girlfriend at the time lived there, and my best friend lived there, and some other friends, and we would just sort of gather and sit on the porch. And I was 19, I think, and young, living life as best I knew how at that time, which is not as well as I'm living now. Uh-oh, hold on. Can't have an air conditioner ruin my show. All right, here we go. The record player scratching out an old and dusty tune on a front porch on a Sunday on an arky afternoon. We were lying around like gypsies, thinking about going to town. And Jimmy's drinking whiskey straight in line in the shade. Jamie's dancing around the kitchen with a glass of lemonade, looking like an angel who's never gonna touch the ground. Trouble in mind, how'd we ever lose that town? Living for the best, leaving all the rest behind. Well, them boys from Morgan County, they were coming out tonight, but country on the radio and trouble in their eyes. Come walking up the driveway, singing about the night before. And we'll head up to the mountain, pick up trucks and old guitars. We'll all smoke marijuana as we look up at the stars, raising hell for hours until we can't take anymore. The trouble in mind, how'd we ever lose that time? Living for the best, leaving all the rest behind. On the manteltop is filled with old regrets. There are things I can't remember and the times I won't forget. I'll call you up and tell you, but baby, we've been gone too long. Now that porch is just a memory and the record player's broke. Them hills have gone to houses and Jimmy's gone to smoke. I'd do the whole thing over, darling, just to hear that song. Shovel in mine. How'd we ever lose that time? Living for the best, leaving all the rest behind. Living for the best, leaving all the rest behind. All right, Faulkner Street. That was the name of the street, if I remember correctly. Let's see, who'd we have on that one? Carl Brummel again was on guitar. Fats Kaplan played lap steel. Fats Kaplan's amazing. For those of y'all that aren't familiar, not only amazing musician, but just incredible personality. Magician, chess player, and he was in John Prine's band recently, and but has done a lot of amazing things, played a lot of really interesting and talented folks. Will Kimbrough played electric guitar, baritone guitar. Brad Fordham played bass on that, and Lisa Pankratz played drums on that. And then Thad Cockrell was the harmony vocals. Thad Cockrell was a really important piece of this record. I think he sang on 3 songs, and we'll talk about him more as we get later into it. Actually, this next song he sings on. And it's one of my favorite parts of the record is his harmony singing. It's just incredible, blows me away. So I hope y'all are doing okay. Thank you for joining me here as I go through my Trouble in Mind record. Everybody doing all right? What's happening? I asked that question. I can't really see your answers, but it looks like I think things are okay. Well, thank you for being here. All right, this next song is one I wrote with my friend Johnny Burke. Johnny's a fantastic singer-songwriter, and he used to be in a band called the Dead Ringers that I really loved. And they went on tour with me at one point. Actually, they toured me quite a bit, but they did one sort of national tour, and they won Austin Band of the Year, or new Band of the Year in Austin, which is kind of a big deal. And they broke up the next day at my show and went home. Went home from the tour. But anyway, it was good while it lasted. But this is a song that we wrote, and there was another verse to it. And I remember I think Johnny was mad at me because I cut the verse, but it's pretty long as it is, and I don't remember what it was now. It'd be interesting to know. A lot of these songs have extra verses that, you know, it got the cutting room floor. Some of them I remember, some of them I don't. But I really like this song. Johnny brought a good part of the chorus to me already to start, and I just kind of helped him finish it. But I think it's a really beautiful tune. So here we go. It's called "Don't Let Me Fall." I walked the highway since I can't remember. I cut my poor family right down to the bone. From the shadows of hell into the winds of December, I laid down with a stranger, woke up all alone. So don't let me fall, 'cause I might not get up again. Just hold me tight, 'cause right now what I need's a friend. I've come too far for this to be the end. Don't let me fall, 'cause I might not get up. And God knows I tried to hold on to a feeling, a song or a memory to keep in my heart. And I ask forgiveness for those I've forsaken. Forgiveness don't come and it tears me apart. So don't let me fall, 'cause I might not get up again. Just hold me tight, 'cause right now what I need's a friend. I've come too far for this to be the end. Don't let me fall, 'cause I might not get up. The killing is pain outside in the rain. One hand holds a bottle and one hand holds my shame. I don't know which comes first, I don't know which is worse. Riding behind or inside the hearse. So don't let me fall, 'cause I might not get up again. Just hold me tight, 'cause right now what I need's a friend. I've come too far for this to be the end. Don't let me fall, 'cause I might. Don't let me fall, 'cause I might. Don't let me fall, 'cause I might not get up. Oh yeah, that's I don't know, that one gets me. So I'm grateful to Johnny for bringing that idea to me and for working on it with me. But the thing that I really love about that again is Dad Carll. That's him doing the harmony singing on there. It's just ethereal and beautiful. Let's see. Al Perkins, George Bradfute, Brad Jones, John Gardner, Dad Carll. Okay. Yeah. On this record, I was playing a baritone for the first time, which is what this is. Brad Jones, the producer, very wonderful producer and friend, had an old Gibson that he had just braced, made a really heavy guitar out of, and put heavy gauge strings, like the heaviest you could get, and then tuned it B to B instead of E to E, for anybody who's interested in this kind of thing. So instead of the regular guitar sound, it has this very low sound. And I loved it. I played it on I Got a Gig, I played it on this, maybe something else, and played it on Chances Are on a later record. And here's the same chord on a regular guitar, just different, brighter, lighter. So I really love that. And so I went and had this guitar converted into a baritone a couple years later. This is my first guitar, actually, that my parents got me when I was 15. I've told the story many times, but my friend Carrie Welton sat on it in a hotel room in New Orleans when we were 18. And it sat on the shelf for 15 years until I finally got it fixed. And anyway, that's the story of that. All right, how we doing? Looks like we got a nice crowd here. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I really appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying the show. I can't read your comments, but that doesn't mean don't leave them. I like to go back and watch the show if I can and see whether y'all dug it and how I can improve. One way I can improve is to actually follow the set list here, because I skipped a song. It turns out after Faulkner Street was not Don't Let Me Fall. After Faulkner Street was this song, Wild as a Turkey. All right. Well, I'm wild as a turkey, higher than a Christmas moon, empty as my wallet on a Sunday afternoon. Yeah, I come around too fast and I always leave too soon. Ain't that what they all say? I come down from Memphis with a broken down Corvette, a suitcase full of memories and a face you won't forget. Oh, you say you'll never love me, but tonight ain't over yet. Yeah, I'm gonna change your mind. Oh girl, I've been a gambler since the age of 21. I have seen my share of trouble and the wrong end of a gun. And this whole world's out to get me just because I have my fun. Everything ain't gonna slow me anyway. Right ain't right, babe, left ain't always wrong. I bet you're tired of dancing to the same old song. You look like an angel in a place you don't belong. Now I'm gonna take you away. Get on there. This place is closed, and that don't mean it's time for bed. Oh, we don't need no sleep, girl, we'll get plenty when we're dead. You can leave these fools behind you now, come with me instead. Oh, I'm gonna show you time. I'm wild as a turkey, higher than a Christmas moon, empty as my wallet on a Sunday afternoon. But I come around too fast, and I always leave too soon. Ain't that what they all say? Oh, ain't that what they all say? All right, ain't that what they all say? That was Wild as a Turkey, which was another one that we sort of, I think that song was kind of started off with like a jazzy, but and ended up, we got in the studio and everybody started playing around, and that was what we came up with. I wrote that song on my own, but I do got to give credit to Travis Linville because I was looking for a chord, and I can't remember which one it is that he gave me, but he gave me at least one chord in that song. Maybe it was that. It was either that or that. It was some sort of jazz chord, some kind of just little thing that I didn't know how to play. So thank you, Travis. I owe you. Let's give Travis a plug. He just has a record that came out last week, I believe. And I'm on it, actually. He and I sang a Willie Nelson song, Yesterday's Wine. Yeah, check that out. J.D. McPherson produced the record. So if you get a chance, go check out travislinville.com. He's got a great Patreon page and just puts out killer music. So I highly recommend that. So here's to Travis. I'm drinking out of my little cup tonight. Let's see. Okay, we have one more song left on side 2 of the vinyl. We are almost 2/3 of the way through this record. And this is one, actually, before I do that, let's just say who played on here. We can't break the streak now. Wild as a Turkey was me on guitar and vocals. Brad Jones on baritone electric guitar. Fats Kaplan on pedal steel. Brad Fordham on bass. John Gardner on drums. So, this next one, this is my Dylan obsession really shows to an embarrassing degree. It's a little uncomfortable for me, but just, when you hear a lot of this record actually is uncomfortable for me. I don't listen to it often, and when I do, I cringe a little bit. Like, I'm really proud of the songs, and I think the production's killer, and there are some of the things that I'm feel good about. But I also had this kind of, my accent was, it feels put on to me. I don't have that big of an accent, and I know I still sing with one, but it felt really affected when I go back and listen to it. But I guess I got kind of just lost in the character of country music. I don't know. I'm not sure what to attribute that to. I know a lot of people that do that, and so I think it's weird when they do it, and I think it's weird when I do it too. But I remember after the fact going back and listening to some of these songs and going, you don't sound like somebody I know. You sound like somebody raised on a farm that doesn't exist. And then this is the other side of the spectrum where my, that stuff was my country music roots coming out, and this was my Dylan roots coming out. Anyway, fun song to play, fun song to write, and sing, but very obviously heavily influenced by Mr. Dylan. But that's okay. I'm not the only one, I'm pretty sure. So let's see here. You came a raging at my front door. You said, hey, I'll never see you no more. You broke your window and you climbed on through. I could never be friends with a lover like you. You kissed the chef, he quit the band. Now you're walking around with a ring in your hand. You told me you needed, I almost believed it was true. Well, I could never be friends with a lover like you. The station's buzzing, this room is cold. I gotta get out of here before I get old. I'm withered and I can't take the view. Oh, I can never be friends with a lover like you. My legs are shaking, I need some rest. If you got something, get it off of your chest. I came here for quiet, ended up in a zoo. Oh, I can never be friends with a lover like you stole my pictures, you changed your face. I don't know how I ended up in this place. If I had a lawyer, I think I'd probably sue. Oh, I could never be friends with a lover like you. The doctor called me before the show. He said there's some things I needed to know. I'm getting out of here. Oh, what else can I do? Honey, I could never be friends with a lover like you. No, I could never be friends with a lover like you. That's actually more fun than I remember. I mean, I knew it was kind of fun, but Uh, yeah. Okay, that's it. That's side 2. Although, actually, once again, let me just read who played on here. Although it's not as many people as I thought played on this record, but let's see. That was Pat Buchanan, Al Perkins, Brad Jones, John Gardner, Hayes Carll. So there's 5 of us. But there's a solo on there. I almost didn't put the song on the record, but there's a Al Perkins solo on this track that was so cool that I just had to get it on there. So if you go back and listen, I think there's 2 solos, and one of them is Al Perkins. He just does this thing, and I remember everybody in the studio sitting around the control panel listening to a playback, and there was another competing solo take that Al had done. It was really great, but there was this one note on this one particular take that everybody in the room just went, woo! Like he hit some note, just crazy note. And he has this amazing hair, like this crazy swirly hair, and he's playing this pedal steel, and I mean he's a legend, and he's just doing stuff that it's really cool when you have a room full of just incredibly talented musicians, and then you have a guy that all those guys are watching and going, wow, that's amazing. And that was Al for this song. It was really neat. So, okay, we are 2/3 of the way through. I'm Hayes Carll. Thanks for tuning in to episode 55 of Alone Together Tuesdays. The last 3, or this one and the last 2, have been looking at my records, and I'm going to do that for the next month. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to do, if I'll shut this whole thing down or if we'll figure out some other way to go. But it's been a really fun ride to get into these shows. So thank y'all for sticking with me and for tuning in. So 2 weeks ago we did Flowers and Liquor. Last week we did Little Rock. If you missed them and you want to catch the replay, they're on YouTube. You can just go check them out, episodes 53 and 54. And but this is 55, and we are on Trouble in Mind. All right, let's see. Side 3 of the record. Okay. This will be fun. All right, so I mentioned in the beginning of the show, there was a woman named Kim Bowie, and she did A&R, which stands for Artist and Repertoire, for Lost Highway Records. And what that means, I mean, it's different things for different labels, and some labels don't even have A&R anymore. But what it meant back then with Lost Highway and with me was she was responsible for going out and finding new acts. And so she signed me and Ryan Bingham to the label. She signed a lot of other people, but at the time, that's all I remember. And then she was really helpful in the process of like finding producers to work with. I didn't know, I was still pretty green. I'd made 2 records, but I'd only been in the music business for like 3 or 4 years. And when I say business, I use that term loosely. Like Lisa Morales just helped me out on my first record, and I only knew a few people around. Had just started touring legitimately. And then on my second record, I knew Bobby Field, and we had 3 musicians on that. So I just didn't know a lot of musicians. And on this one, Kim was really instrumental in helping me, just being a sounding board. I would take her songs and ask her for her input. And she wasn't a producer, although she produced a Rodney Crowell record with Rodney. And she signed a lot of your favorite acts over the years. And she works at New West Records now. But she had faith in me and signed me, and I'm eternally grateful. It really completely changed my life. I still remember meeting her. I think it was at the basement, the original basement. And signed me. I had no songs. Not one song I could say, yeah, here's something. She just signed me to a record deal and had faith. So what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is she brought me this song, this next song. This is the second cover on the record. She brought me this Tom Waits song called I Don't Want to Grow Up. And she would just share music with me occasionally. And this song really stuck with me. Sometimes I would hear things and I'd say, I like that. Just as a fan, I enjoy it. But I didn't necessarily want to cover them. And that wasn't always the goal. With this one, she sent it to me and I said, I love that. And I feel like these lyrics are perfect and I could do a very different version of that. I don't like to do cover songs that are just like the original artist does them. I don't really see the point in that. But with this one, I felt like I could do a version that had not been done yet. And so I gave it a shot, and it was just so fun to sing and so universal and felt classic to me. The lyrics is such a great song that I started playing it, and I really got a kick out of it. And so we went in the studio. We decided to do it, and so it goes like this. You ready? All right, 1, 2, 1, 2. Well, when I'm lying in my bed at night, I don't want to grow up. Yeah, nothing ever seems to turn out right, and I don't want to grow up. How do you move in a world of fog that's always changing things? It makes me wish that I could be a dog. Well, when I see the price you pay, I don't want to grow up. And I don't ever want to be that way, and I don't want to grow up. It seems like folks turn into things that they never want. The only thing to live for is today. I'm gonna put a hole in my TV set, and I don't wanna grow up. Yeah, gonna open up the medicine chest, and I don't wanna grow up. I don't wanna have to shout it out. I don't want my head to fall out. I don't wanna be filled with doubt. I don't wanna be a good Boy Scout. I don't wanna have the biggest amount. I don't wanna have to learn to count. I don't wanna grow up. Well, when I see my parents fight, I don't wanna grow up. Yeah, they all go out drinking all night, and I don't wanna grow up. I'd rather stay here in my room, nothing out there but sad and gloom. I don't wanna live in a big old tomb on Carll Street. Ah, when I see the 5 o'clock news, I don't wanna grow up. Yeah, they comb their hair in the shiny shoes, and I don't wanna grow up. I'd rather stick around the old hometown. I don't wanna put no money down. I don't wanna get me a big old loan, work them fingers to the bone. I don't wanna learn to float a broom, fall in love, get married and boom. How the hell I get here so soon? I don't wanna grow up. Nobody. The great Tom Waits. I don't want to grow up. What a song. Yeah. All right. Let's see. How we doing? Hour and a half in. I think we're going to make this another 2 hours. That's exciting. Thank you for sticking with me so far. Let's see. On that one, it was me on guitar and vocals. Violin and mandolin was Fats Kaplan. Electric guitar was Will Kimbrough. Harmonium was Brad Jones. Bass was Brad Fordham. And drums was Lisa Pankratz. It's awesome. Okay. Let's see. We are doing this next one. Okay, this is a song. This is the role of a producer. There's lots of different parts of being a producer. But one thing can be taking, an artist will bring in a song idea, and a producer can help them craft it and turn it into something better. I was going to say more refined, but it doesn't necessarily be that. It could be dirtier, it could be grittier, it can be more refined, it can be more elegant, it can be a lot of different things. But just try and find a unique way to approach that song. This song originally was this kind of Wayland stomp, which was something I had done already on a couple songs, and in my mind it was going to sound really cool, but it wasn't actually that unique. And it was sort of a shouting song, not anything nuanced or connected. And Brad Jones, the producer, came up with this beautiful arrangement, and which I quite liked. And this is another one that Thad Cockrell sang on and really put it over the top with his harmony vocal. So this is one of my favorite tracks on the record. That combination of Thad's melodies and Brad's arrangement with this song that I wrote. It's called Knockin' Over Whiskeys. It goes like this. I keep knocking over whiskeys. No one's laughing at my jokes. They got me spinning around in circles like a tin can in the spokes. And when I left town this morning with a smile upon my face, ah, babe, I swear I never knew I'd end up in this place. Run away, little darling, you don't need me anymore. I've been out here for too long, it ain't like it was before. If I get back home to Houston, I'm gonna tip my hat and cry. When I left, I was a younger man, too proud to say goodbye. I'm gonna wake up in the morning with a conscience 10 feet tall. I'm gonna lay my head down wiser, or I won't lay it down at all. Run away, little darling, you don't need me anymore. I've been out here for too long, it ain't like it was before. To live out on the border where no one else could reach, and now I can't ask a question without you giving a speech. You said I never cared, babe, but you know that isn't true. It's just the only thing you asked of me. It's one thing I can't do. Run away, little darling, you don't need me anymore. I've been out here for too long, it ain't like it was before. Run away, little darling, leave you with a smile. I'm knocking over whiskeys and I will be for a while. Knocking over whiskeys. So, in case you're wondering what I was talking about with my original version, it was more like, let's see, it was like, I've been knocking over whiskeys, no one's laughing at my jokes. You got me spinning around in circles like a tin can in the spokes. And when I left town this morning with a smile upon my face, oh babe, I swear I never knew I'd end up in this place. Running away, it might have been cool too, but I just really love the progression that Brad came up with, which is in this. just something beautiful about it. And that little nylon string guitar solo part he plays. I love that. So, okay. So I keep mentioning that when Lost Highway signed me, I had no songs ready for the new record. And I got put together with Daryl Scott, the wonderful, amazing Daryl Scott, who wrote, if you're not familiar with him, he wrote Great Day to Be Alive, the Travis Tritt song. He wrote Long Time Gone, the Dixie Chicks song. He wrote Going Back to Harlan, or You'll Never Leave Harlan Alive. He's written a million things. He is a world-class musician of just about every instrument. He played in Robert Plant's band. He's played with countless people. He did a whole record with Tim O'Brien. He produced my last record and played like 17 instruments on it and sang. He's an incredible singer, an incredible songwriter, an incredible musician. It's not fair, like how good he is at all these things. And he's also a really cool guy, really unique, interesting guy. And I was a big fan of his, and I got the opportunity to write a song with him. And I went over to his house, and I had this little idea for a song, and we started working on it, and we finished it. And I remember he recorded it on his piano. We recorded it at his house, just on a little actually I don't remember what we recorded it on. Maybe, somehow I got a recording of it. I think this was pre-iPhone, but I can't remember. Anyway, I had it, and I wish I still had it. I don't know what happened to it, but it was this really lovely version of us singing this song together and him just doing this amazing harmony. And that was it. That was the first song that I had for this record. So I'd signed this record deal and didn't have any songs, and I finally got this one song. And so when the time came to record, I really wanted to try and recreate that. So I brought Daryl in, and I think he played, I think it's just me and him on this track. Here's Carll, Daryl Scott on Weisenboard slide guitar and harmony vocals. Yeah, just the two of us. Just the two of us. So, anyway, that song gave me some confidence that I could finish the rest of the record, and really got after it and wrote a bunch of these songs pretty quickly. And but it's interesting how the dominoes fall sometimes, and one thing leads to another. So. I drink too much, and I smoke too much, and I laugh at all my own jokes too much. I'm hard to tell, and soft to touch, and easy saying goodbye. Uh-oh. Sorry. Hold that thought. Let's see. Here we go. I broke your heart 1,000 times with wasted nights and rambling rhymes. I thought I'd leave you far behind, but time just wouldn't let go. I walked the streets, I kicked the cans, tore down the walls with my two hands, and still across my floor you stand, willing to love again. out of all the dreams in this old world. How'd you get so unlucky, girl, to find a shell that had no pearl, and a man who couldn't find home? I feel too much, I protect too much, and most times I probably expect too much. I spend my life on this broken crutch, and you believe I can fly. I walk the streets, I kick the cans, tore down the walls with my 2 hands, and still across my floor you stand, willing to love again. And still across my floor you stand, willing to love again. All right. That was Willing to Love Again, a song I wrote with Daryl Scott. Okay, let's see. We only got 2 left. 2 songs left. We're going to make it, I'm pretty sure, unless a tornado comes through, which might happen. Okay, this is a special track because it's not on the CD. It's not online. The only place that you can hear it is on the vinyl, which is unfortunate because I really like this song. I think it's a beautiful song, or a beautiful recording for sure. And I don't know that my performance of it's going to be beautiful, but the recording of it is really special, I think. And but I don't know how to get it. I need to call Lost Highway or Universal and see if there's like a way to. Actually, I don't know. There's not like a Lost Highway phone number. Hey, Lost Highway, can you give me my song back? But I'm not sure how that works. I'm going to talk to some people. I'm going to talk to my manager. We're going to figure out how to get this song back. Yeah, it was just like a bonus track on the vinyl. It's called Waiting on the Stars to Fall. I think there's actually a Lost Highway compilation where it was on there as well. But I looked for it the other day. I can't find it on Spotify. I can't find it on YouTube. I can't even find the lyrics on the internet. So, yeah, which is a shame because it's really cool. So I'm going to try it here. I'm going to play it for you if I can remember it. I should have practiced this before we got here. Let's see. What key do we think it's in? My money's on D, but we'll see. Could be sailing across the sea tonight. I could be sailing across the sea tonight. Baby, sorry. This is super unprofessional. Give me a minute though. Baby, I wanna let go. Alright, we're gonna try D. I may abort and need to try something else, but we'll try this here. This is a song I wrote with Lisa Morales. And Lisa produced my first record. Her and her sister, Roberta, Sisters Morales, used to take me out to open for them, and they were really influential, important people in my career and in my life. And I never would have gotten to this point where I was making this record if I hadn't have met Lisa and Roberta, and Lisa produced my first record. So I owe her a great debt, and I have a lot of gratitude for her. And she invited me over to her house in San Antonio one time to write a song, and this is what we came up with. It's called Waiting on the Stars to Fall. I could be sailing across the sea tonight, riding on a big jet plane, still looking out the window as the miles go by, praying on the pouring rain. I guess forever is a long old time when you wanna live wild and free. You find yours but forgot about mine. It's not the way it's supposed to be. Baby, I wanna let go. Baby, I wanna move on. Baby, I wanna let go, but I can't. If you'd have told me back then, I'd be here right now. Say you never knew me at all. I was running with the bulls and chasing down the stars, not waiting on the stars to fall. Did I lose myself somewhere along the way? Did that line get blurred somehow? I used to be living like New York City, and now I can make a sound. Baby, I wanna let go. Baby, I wanna move on. Baby, I wanna let go, but I can't. Baby, I wanna let go. Baby, I wanna move on. Baby, I wanna let go, but I can't. All right, that was Waiting on the Stars to Fall, an extra special hidden bonus track on the vinyl record only, of which we gave away 2 tonight. Hopefully that worked out. We got 2 winners. Thank y'all for sharing the show. Thanks to everybody for sharing the show who did. I really appreciate it. And just thanks for tuning in, period. It really means a lot to me. I've done a few shows recently, but these live streams, 55 weeks. I mean, it's been my lifeline. It's been my connection with people. It's been my financial salvation. It's been my sort of emotional and social and mental salvation as well. It has really helped me. So I'm just grateful for anybody tuning in. If you contribute to the show, that's great, and I appreciate it. We'll send you a postcard. If you contribute $30 or more, I'll send you a postcard, a signed set list, a sticker, and a signed lyric sheet. I can't remember what tonight's song is. Maybe Callan can text me what it is, the lyric sheet I'm going to do. And if money's tight, which I understand it is for a lot of people, you can still get a postcard. All you got to do is, I think again, we've got some kind of thing there where you can sign up or send an email to hayscarllmgmt@gmail.com. I'm not quite sure. Callan will explain it. Sorry, Callan, I'm throwing a lot at you here. Let's see. She just texted me and she says, 1 2 1 2 1 2. I'm sorry, I just read out my passcode for my phone. 1 2 1 2 1 2. I got a gig. Okay, I got a gig is the lyric sheet for tonight. So if you tip $30 or more, a copy of handwritten lyric sheet to I got a gig will be part of your reward. But if you don't have any money, it's no problem. We can still send you something. We want to send you something. So we'll send you a signed postcard, personalized. Just sign up on the thing, on the jig, wherever it is. And if it doesn't show up, just email us at hayscarllmgmt@gmail.com. Okay, everybody. Well, thank you so much for hanging in here with me. We got one last song. And this is a song that I wrote with Brian Keene, who's a great songwriter and a great spirit and soul. And he came over to my apartment in Austin. It's funny, I think back on these, a lot of these were written in this one little apartment. And he had this idea for a song, and there's a lot of things in life that happen that would not have happened without some other person or some some action that sort of changes the direction of your life. And this was another one of those things. He came over with this idea. I never would have come up with this on my own. He had this idea called "She Left Me for Jesus," and I remember he told it to me. And I thought that's not a great idea. I don't like this idea. And but we started working with it, and then I started having a lot of fun. Like it became this sort of fun game to play, like all these different scenarios that we could write out, and we had lots and lots of different verses where the guy is following Jesus around town, and like they're going to church, and it's just all these misunderstandings about who Jesus was and what his big white house, and all these things. So we had a lot of fun just making all this up. And then I recorded a demo of it, and ended up recording the song. And this is a different version on the vinyl as well. The version on the vinyl is very slow, and I think funnier. It's easier to get the joke than the version on the record, which is more rock and roll. I think it's Dan Barrett again singing harmonies. Anyway, I knew the song was kind of shticky, and real shticky, and I didn't want it to be my dead skunk in the middle of the road or redneck mother, or I talked to Ray Wiley Hubbard about this, and he said, once that cat's out of the bag, it's really hard to get it back in, was what he said, referring to kind of gimmick songs. And I knew he'd had some experience with that, and so I was talking to friends who I knew had gotten that. And it's a blessing if it's a success, but it's also a curse in that you're stuck with it forever. And Ray used to always say, before you write a song, or before you play a song that you've written, ask yourself, can I sing this for the next 30 years? And that's a valid question that I would recommend all songwriters asking themselves. But there have been times where I haven't felt like singing this, and there's times where I have. Yeah, I've gone on long enough. Let's wrap this up. This is She Left Me for Jesus, written with Brian Keane. It goes like this. We've been dating since high school. We never once left this town. We used to go out on the weekends. We drink till we drown. But now she's acting funny, and I don't understand. I think that she's found her some other man. She left me for Jesus, and that just ain't fair. She says that he's perfect. How could I compare? She says I should find him, and I'll know peace at last. But if I ever find Jesus, I'm kicking his ass. She showed me a picture. All I could do was stare at that freak in his sandals, all with his long, pretty hair. They must think that I'm stupid, or that I don't have a clue. Well, I bet he's a commie, or probably even a Jew. She left me for Jesus, and that just ain't fair. She says that he's perfect. How could I compare? She says I should find him, and I'll know peace at last. But if I ever find Jesus, I'm a kicking his ass. She's given up whiskey, and now she's taking up wine. she prays for his troubles and has forgotten all about mine. But it's okay, I'm gonna get even. I can't handle the shame. Why, the last time we made love, she even called out his name. She left me for Jesus, and that just ain't fair. She says that he's perfect. How could I compare? And she says I should find him, and I'll know peace at last. But if I ever find Jesus, I'm a kick in his ass. And it could have been Carlos or even Billy Hotel. But if I ever find Jesus, he's gonna wish he were dead. Oh, man. I got mentioned in Jerry Falwell's newsletter, Junior's newsletter, because of that song, which I claim as a badge of honor. That song was also voted the lowest ranked song in the history of the iTunes giveaway. I think I've told this story before, but iTunes used to deal where they gave away a free song every week, or 2 free songs. And I remember my record label called me and they were like, this is a big deal. You got She Left Me for Jesus is going to be the free song of the week, along with this band called Lady Antebellum, their song and your song. I said, great. Like iTunes, that was the only musical game in town back then. I mean, as far as the digital world. And this was a huge deal. And so I thought, I saw my stardom, about to unfold. I was a little hesitant about it being She Left Me for Jesus. And rightfully so, because it turned out they just played a clip. And although the clip, if you would go to, and millions of people went to, and it was, she left me for Jesus. If I ever find Jesus, I'm kicking his ass. And it was like that. There was no context. It was just this sort of blasphemous, vulgar, crass chorus. And then you had Lady Antebellum doing this beautiful song that ended up being a huge hit. And so you could rate 5 possible stars, and mine was like less than a star. And I'm pretty sure it was the lowest ranked song in the history of the iTunes daily giveaway. So it's got that claim to fame. And then it won Song of the Year at the Americana Awards. So it's had an interesting life, as has this record. This has been a lot of fun, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in for the show. Trouble in Mind. It was a really significant time for me, and a really important record in my career, and it's my most successful record. It's sold by far the most copies of anything I've done, and it feels like it resonated with a lot of people. I still feel that today. A lot of these songs are requested and get a big response, and that means a lot to me. It's really special to look back and to be able to do this and look back and go through it all. So thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the night. And I'm looking forward to next week when we'll do K-Mag Yo-Yo. So tell your friends, tell your neighbors, and tune in next week if you can. Or you can always watch on the replay. Yeah, I think that's all I got. So let me find my outro here. And yeah, okay. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. Y'all take care. Have a great week. And I hope to see you next week. Until then, adios. I was mistaken, my dear. There was never any reason to be cruel to you. Your heart is breaking, I fear, and I wish there was some little thing that I could do.
I know perhaps it seems to you as if I didn't care, and I hate it's me who showed you that the world ain't always fair. Can't take it back and make it better, and no words will explain the choices that I made along the way. Stood by through all kinds of weather. With my new clarity, I can see you deserved so much better. I was selfish and certain that the world would understand, and I never realized what it means to be a man. So I left you with excuses and a debt I can't repay for the choices that I made along the way.